Hello again. We're going to make another video or two today, other than our red velvet cake for Valentine's Day. I'm going to make some salted codfish with some leeks and onions and tomatoes. First, let me show you. We're going to do this real quick. First, I already rinsed the salted cod. Rinsed it very well. As you can see, the water is clear. Now I'm going to boil it for 5 minutes and rinse it again. This is how we clean it. You've seen the other video before. So basically, rinse it, boil it for about 5 minutes, let it sit in the boiling water for about another 5 minutes after you boil it, and then rinse it a couple more times, and that's how we get that ready. Now for the leeks, I put some olive oil in here. Turn the stove on. For that, I'm going to use 3 onions, 3 tomatoes. It's just something we're making up. We're going to wrap it in a wrap, in our own nice wrap. It's sort of like a tortilla, but I'm going to show you how to make that as well with a sourdough. Fry it all up and then add the salted fish to it after and wrap it nice, make it all nice and brown and wrap it, and then yeah, I'll show you that. So I'm going to start with the onions and the garlic. And I like my onions nice, and I don't like them too small. So I like to feel the texture, and it's faster this way. There we go. And you can use white onions, red onions. I'm using a mix of both. And of course, we're going to use our seasoning that we make, the urban garlic seasoning. You can see the video for that. And we're adding 3 wiri peppers. I'm going to roughly chop my garlic. Use a good garlic here. And of course salt and pepper. And the wiri is very spicy and hot. Our seasoning already has some pepper in it already, so it's up to you, whatever you like. But this, I promise you, is going to be very tasty, delicious, different, and something you will enjoy any evening for lunch. Drop some, please don't waste. I need my good spoon here. Brown this up, and I'm going to start chopping my. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to move very quickly. My leeks. These leeks look wonderful, so I got some and figured out what to do with them. And they're going to be fantastic. Fried with the salted cod and the onions and the tomatoes. Add that in. Something different, something tasty. There's one more leek there. Sorry, my hand got in the way. It's going to be very quick. Quick and delicious. I'm using 1 pound of salted fish. And 2 stalks of leeks, 3 onions, and you saw about half a full head of garlic. This, I'm going to just quarter them. And be careful, these are very spicy. So, use as much spice as you like, or if you don't have to, use them at all. But we like our spicy food. There we go. Quarter them eventually they'll melt down. Like this. Move very quick. You move very, very quickly. And be careful with the knife. I've been doing this a long time, so and these again I'm going to cut them rough. And add them in. I want to keep some of the texture in there. I don't want these to completely melt down. It's going to be well cooked, but you can still see the tomatoes in there. Yeah, you have to be careful with the salt fish. Now you do have to rinse it well first. That's very essential, otherwise it's going to be too salty still. You have to take the salt out. Rinse it out well, boil it for about 5 minutes. Let it sit in that boiled water, and then rinse it a few times again. This is coming together nicely here. Now the tomatoes are going to deglaze everything off the bottom. Because I have it on high heat. I want everything to brown. There we go, starting to deglaze already. Perfect. That looks fantastic. Smells good, looks good, and it's going to taste out of this world. Perfect. Look at that. You can lower the heat a little bit now to medium. And season to taste, because the seasoning already has salt in it. The salt fish is already salty, and so season to taste. Don't add too much salt. Make sure that you add the salt that you require, that you like. Now let this brown, and I'll see you in a bit. So our salt fish has been boiling for about 5 minutes or so. I'm going to turn off the heat and let it sit in that boiling water for a few minutes, maybe 5-10 minutes, and then rinse it out a few more times, 2 or 3 more times, and then we can start cooking it again. I think the leeks and onions and tomatoes are done, and now I'm just going to wait for the saltfish. I'm going to rinse it out and saute it in here, then add all this to it, and then we're done. I have my saute pan here with some olive oil. It's hot. I put my saltfish in there, and the salt is perfect now in the fish. I'm going to add my seasoning, my famous herb and garlic seasoning, and please watch the video for that. It's worth it. And brown this off a bit. And it's going to fall apart, don't worry. It's not going to stay in big chunks like that. And once this is browned really well, then I'm going to add my leeks, tomatoes, and onions and garlic here. And I'll see, I might add a little bit of lemon juice as well, or lime juice. We'll see. I think it'll give it that little extra zest and zangy. Just more flavor to savor. Yeah, this is almost done. Then after this, we'll make the tortilla wraps, or the wraps like a tortilla wrap. Our saltfish is browning up nicely here. I'm going to add a little bit of lime juice. There we go. That smells so good. Don't you just love good food that smells amazing? I do. Opens up the appetite, makes you want to eat well and eat healthy. There. Brown a little bit more. And then we're going to add our vegetables and season properly. And then we're ready to make our wraps. Dump this into here or dump this into here? That is the question. It's a very philosophical question. It's very difficult to answer, but I'm going to do the easy. I'm going to take the easy way out. I'm just going to, one is already hot. I'm just going to dump this one into here. And that's going to taste so good. And when you taste that, you forget everything else and you just enjoy a really good bite. And let that brown a little bit more. Come and see this. Look at this. Mix it well. And imagine that in a wrap. A nice, soft, fresh wrap that you just made yourself. It's just heaven. This is what life is about. Good living, good food. Good ingredients. And very healthy. Just let that sit for a few minutes and it's done. We're ready on to the wraps. And this is done. This is what it should look like. I tasted it. It's absolute perfection. So we're gonna make our wraps. It's gonna be like sort of like a tortilla wrap, but a little spongier, thicker, more fluffy. So I have 2 cups of flour, and I'm gonna add my sourdough starter to them. Enough sourdough starter, because I need to use my sourdough, right? And then I have to leave some to keep my sourdough starter going. And the rest, let me see. Let me stir that in, mix that in, and I may need to add a bit more water, and that's it. Mix it well. Here I'm not making a sourdough bread, I am making a wrap. So it needs to be a little firmer than our bread, not as hydrated. So it's got to be a nice firm dough, because I'm going to roll it and make sure it's well mixed in. I'm going to mix it in well. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. And maybe I may need to add a little bit more water, a couple of drops more water, and then we'll see. I'll see when I get there. So I'm kneading it. I'm going to make sure, just add a couple more drops of water, just a little bit, okay? Because now once you add water to this, you can't take it back out. So you have to be very careful. I'm trying to create a firm dough. That's what I want, because I'm going to roll it and fry it. And this is going to take me a few minutes here, but this is the idea. Yeah, I'm going to keep kneading it. Needs a little bit more water here. And it's going to come together perfectly. It's already, as you can see, if it's still too firm, just add 1 drop of water at a time. It's If you add too much, then you have to go back to adding flour, and then you have to start over and over. So do it slowly, be patient. Sorry about the noise. Needs a drop more water, just a drop. There we go. Need more flour from the edges here. You knead it well. It comes together perfectly. It's not going to take long. It's already doing it. Look at that. See this? It's perfect. I'll let it sit for a minute, wash my hands. Yeah, it's good. And then when I roll it, put some flour and roll it well, and then I'll show you what I do next. So I stopped kneading my dough just now. I'm gonna take it out and put it here. You can see it's very firm, that's what I want. I want it firm. This took what, just a couple of minutes, not even, to make, because I'm gonna roll it and make my wraps with it. And my wraps, I'm gonna grease this and roll them very thin. Bake them on there, fry them, bake them, whatever you prefer. Just leave this there. That's perfect. Leave that there. And I have to roll this very, very thin. Take my time. Again, it's very simple, very basic. It's just flour and sourdough starter. Because I have the sourdough starter, I don't want to throw it out. I have to keep feeding it, so I'm figuring out ways to use the sourdough. Maybe, who knows, maybe tomorrow I'll make the sourdough starter. I'll make some dumpling soup, who knows? Or some fried sourdough starter. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Something we've never done before. Go where no man has gone before with the sourdough. Yeah, I think that's rolled enough. Make sure my non-stick pan is warm enough. Gonna brush some oil on this. Even though it is non-stick, the oil is also for flavor and light and crispiness, and just lightly, not a lot. You don't need to put a lot. There. Move that aside. See how well the dough is staying together, and then put it oil side down and let it sit. It's going to shrink a bit, obviously, and we just let it bake now. Yeah. On to the next one. find this is too big, make it a little smaller, as I'm doing now. There. So I'm ready to turn the first one over. Of course, light it again, lightly oil it again. There we go. This one is a little too big. I should have made it smaller, but that's fine. I'm thinking how much of my salt fish and leek I can stuff in there. That's why I make it so big. Because that stuff is so delicious, I want a nice big wrap. This one's going to keep rolling it until it's nice and thin. Make sure it's all on fire. There we go. Perfect. I want it really nice and thick. Ready. I can cut the edges off of this one and make it nice and round as well. Let's turn it over again. Look at that. Nice fresh tortilla wrap. Not your regular tortilla, but still very good. So this one, a few more seconds and I'm just gonna cut off the edges and we're done. We're ready for the next one. So our first wrap is done. Let's move it off, put it there. Ready for our next one. This here. Very little oil, very little. Just because when you turn it around, it's gonna get all covered. There we go. So what I mean by that is just like, there we go. Perfect. See that? Perfect size. On to the next one. So this one is ready to turn. That's our second one. Look at that. Perfect, perfect fresh wrap, homemade. That won't be long. And then we'll put the third one on there. Nice and thin. I want it nice and thin. Yeah, our second one is done. Perfect. Are they beautiful? Homemade wraps. Sort of like a tortilla, but not a tortilla. But it does exactly the same thing. third one is going on now. There we go. And everyone gets better. Always. The next one is always getting better. There we go. So I'm gonna finish these and I'll see you at the table. Perfect. Perfect homemade wraps. Saltfish in here. Pan is nice and clean, there's none left in it. There we go. And then we'll go sit and enjoy saltfish wrap. That's good. So these are saltfish and leek with tomato, garlic and onion, and our homemade wraps, like tortilla wraps, but they're flour and they have a bit of sourdough starter in them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go like that. Make a nice wrap here. And look at this, beautiful, light, fluffy, and very pliable and soft and firm at the same time. It doesn't fall apart. Look at this. You can put this on the grill and seal it up if you want, or do what I'm gonna do. Just bite it. Perfect wrap. With some water. Really, really good. You really should try this also. Second bite I need just to make sure. It stays together perfectly. And then when these cool off, just put them in a plastic bag and make sure they're well sealed, and just put them in the fridge, and they'll last a while because they're sourdough wraps and saltfish with leeks, tomatoes, onion and garlic. Something different, delicious, full of flavor, and worth trying. Thank you for watching again. Please do like, subscribe and share our videos, and until next video, I'll see you very, very soon, sooner than you think. Bye for now.